Welcome, everyone. I'm Heidi Flannery, Youreka Customer Success Manager. We're so happy you're able to join us today. We're just going to wait a few more moments as people log on. Feel free to grab a cup of coffee. We'll be back shortly. Hi again. Thank you for joining us. We're so thrilled to be connecting with you today for review of some exciting updates. There are many initiatives happening at Youreka. These include the spin-out of Youreka from Synaptic Advisors, highlights of the most recent Youreka release, Joule, product roadmap details, and the leveling up of our customer success practice. Today, we have Youreka's CEO, Bill Karpovich, who will be sharing some exciting company news. Dan Bergner, Youreka's Chief Product Officer, will relay some product highlights and the Youreka product roadmap. And then Youreka's Chief Customer Officer, Mike Boosinger, will talk about what the future holds for us. We also have a very special offer happening right now. Stay tuned to hear more later in the presentation. Now, let's hand it off to our first speaker, Youreka's CEO, Bill Karpovich. Hi, Bill.
Hey, Heidi. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, hello, everyone out there. And let me just start with a gigantic thank you. And thank you for a couple things. Number one, thank you for a chance to get acquainted. If we haven't yet, this is a fun opportunity for us. And but more so, thank you for being a customer. Thank you for helping us get to where we are in our journey. And we couldn't have done it without you. Miles to go, but really appreciative and grateful. And certainly thank you for your time today. We know how busy folks are, and we appreciate you joining us. And we look forward to sharing with you some of the exciting information that Heidi outlined. And with that, let's jump right into it in terms of the company news. I'm not sure if folks did see what happened this summer, but we did have an important evolution of Youreka. And in particular, Youreka had been a growing business inside of a larger company called Synaptic Advisory Partners, which also has a field service and Salesforce consulting business inside of it. And we thought it was time, and Youreka had proven it was time to really be on its own. And so we spun the business out into its own independent company. The name of that company is Youreka Labs, Inc. And that's just a formal name. We'll still go by, and the primary brand will be Youreka. And that's how you'll know of us continually and see us in the market. But we're excited to be a standalone business. And I'll talk in a minute about what that means. The other big news is that we took on investment, and from some really important players in the industry. Of course, number one on that list is Salesforce. And you may know Salesforce has a ventures arm that really selects the top performing companies that they see in the market, and in particular in their ecosystem, players and businesses and products that they believe are very complementary to their mission. And that's who they invest and spend time with. And of course, we are flattered and delighted that they joined in the company and are participating in its growth, along with two other tier one venture firms that I've personally had a chance to work with over the course of years. And I know are a wonderful group who really share our vision for what this can be and share our values on how to build a great company and deliver great value to customers. So that was the big news that formally was announced in the beginning or middle of August. And we've been very busy getting all this done, and we're glad to have it behind us so we can really, really focus ahead on what's most important, which is working with you all and furthering the product. So with that, let me talk a little bit about some of the other things that happened along with the news. You may have seen that there was quite a bit of pickup in the press and media, and that was really rewarding because it really says that this was important industry news. And certainly there was a lot of pickup locally. This is the first time we're based in the Maryland area in the U.S., and this is the first time Salesforce has ever invested in Maryland. So we're the first Salesforce investment in Maryland. Really speaks to being something special, and certainly locally there was a lot of interest in that news. But the tier one pubs really thought it was interesting news and strategic for Salesforce to get involved with Youreka, and that was an important move that they were making. And furthermore, this idea that what we're doing can really help solve this broader skills crisis and the need for more frontline workers, and for them to have better tools and ways to build schools and deliver on all the service expectations that are continuing to move, right? And to do that in the way we're doing today, and also with AI and other technologies, we're not here in any way challenging the work that people are doing. We're actually helping them do their best work. And that was a lot of the thematic of what was picked up and written about. And I think is a good preview of really where we're going to continue to build, and why we think this is such an important play, not only hopefully for you, but also in the market overall. So what does this mean? Sometimes when companies get invested in, it's actually not the best news. Sometimes it can result in a change. And I want to just assure you that everything about this investment is really with the customer in mind, with you in mind, and is going to be good for you ultimately as a customer. As I shared, the folks who are invested are very aligned with us in our vision. They're very big believers in the team, and they're trying to support in every way they can. And certainly the providing capital and growth capital is a big piece of that. And what it will allow us to do, first of all, the focusing the businesses, having a dedicated business on Youreka, and we can still partner with Synaptic Advisors, where we have customers who want both experiences, and that continues to be an option. We can work with other SIs and partners, right? So we have flexibility there. But the key thing is now we can do all the things we really need to do to build the best product in the market and deliver that experience like no other in the market, without any distractions around us, except for doing Youreka the best it can absolutely be done. And that's our mission, and that's what we're doing. And this clarity of focus really helps drive that. Certainly, we're going to invest a lot in product, and the product team will have doubled by the end of the year, and we're aggressively investing so that we can continue to further the current feature set, but also continue to innovate and expand. And we'll hear more about that shortly. Related is we're investing quite a bit in customer success, so that you know that you've got everything you need to deliver value back to your organization. And furthermore, with this investment and partnership, it really helps us stay very aligned with Salesforce. We have an aligned roadmap and other involvements. As you see here on our team slide, Karen Mihal, who is Vice President of Product Management in the Salesforce Field Service team, has actually joined us as a board observer and advisor. And so a big part of this also is making sure that we're working very closely with Salesforce, and that our technologies are being rationalized. I know if you're a customer of Salesforce and you're looking at ISV partners, sometimes the question is, should I be using the native capability or the partner? And this helps us make sure that message is really clear and reinforces that there's a clear need for Youreka to be in partnership with the Salesforce platform. The team itself, you're going to see and hear some of the familiar faces and names that have gone way back from Youreka really got started several years ago. Dan Bergner, who is the true founder of Youreka and has been working on this product for about 6 years now, will continue to run and focus on our product organization as Chief Product Officer. Mike Boosinger, who had been very involved with the consulting business and Youreka, is now exclusively focused on Youreka as our Chief Customer Officer. You'll hear from Mike about what we're doing in the customer success realm. Tom, who has been involved for a long time, is running our sales operation. And we have some new faces that'll be joining, and expect other folks to continue to expand the team. The most recent is gentleman Ken Cavalon, who has literally one of the world's experts in how to work with Salesforce and to build a partnership that is of joint value. And Ken is focused on heightening the awareness of Youreka and the ecosystem, and also working very closely with Salesforce themselves. So that's an update on our team and some names you should expect to hear from. And the next point that I want to talk about and that I'll leave with is just a few points on strategy. And our strategy really has not changed from what we've been doing. There may be some new words and kind of visionary aspects to how we talk about it, but we're building from the place where we are and what we've established as our foundation. When we think about our mission, we do think about it as really helping frontline workers be and do their best. And if they can have in their hands what we see, our solution ultimately being a digital assistant, it's something that they have in their pockets in the field that helps them not only gather data and execute procedures, but really be smarter and more effective in all the work that they do. Okay, so we think about that as really an in-field digital assistant. But we also recognize that we got to work with you very closely on a journey. And oftentimes that journey starts with forms, and we got to do that better and better every day. If we can do that, that can allow us to build and help you automate and guide more smarter and smarter procedures. And ultimately, by adding in AI capabilities and other smarter features, it really helps you as an organization deliver smarter service to your customers. So we think about things in a very evolutionary way. We have a big idea about where this is going, but we're building stepwise. And we have a tagline called "Putting Knowledge to Work" that for us captures all of these concepts that you may see. With that, again, I just want to say thank you for a few minutes here to give you an update on the news. And I want to welcome our next speaker, who can build on all of this at a macro level and talk very specifically about where we are from a product perspective. And with that, Dan, are you with us?
I am, Bill. You almost got me because I'm so fired up about where we are at the moment, the investments, the closer partnership with Salesforce, and being able to put all this amazing capital to work to create amazing customer experiences for all the great folks that have joined us here today, and causing their frontline workers to be as successful as humanly or machinely possible. Pretty sure that machinely is a word. So
it is now. It is now.
Cool. Thanks, Bill. All right. So hey, everyone, Dan Bergner, Chief Product Officer. And I'll start by saying sorry for a second. I have a lot of stuff to cover, and I feel like everything is incredibly important and could be really impactful to your implementation of Youreka. So I couldn't cut anything off of the list. And I have two things to get through in a very short period of time. So maybe we'll start with adjusting your headphones and taking a deep breath and getting centered as I kind of take the speed from 10 to 11 here. And with that, here we go. So I have two things to cover with you guys. Yes, two things is going to take me 20 minutes to cover. The first of which being all of the great capability that we just delivered with the Joule release earlier this month. And then the second thing that I want to talk to you guys about a little bit today is where we're headed. How are we taking some of this new investment and adjusting our product roadmap, accelerating our product roadmap? And I think after that point, we'll transition you guys off to Mike to talk about some of the great things going on inside of customer success. And I think most importantly, how we can start to pull each other a little bit closer and continue to align around the efforts and more closely align around the efforts that we've got kind of underway from a product development perspective. All right. So when we look at the scope of the Joule release, right, we've heard our customers loud and clear, right? You've got a lot of folks out there on the front lines, and really Youreka is being used to handle complex, high volume use cases. And the short of it is it's not easy. And as a result, we've had the opportunity, I'd say, to improve performance of the mobile application and how quickly mobile can interact back with the Salesforce servers in the cloud. So what we've been focused on here as part of the Joule release is enhancing all of those mobile interactions. And just as a prelude to maybe one of my last topics here, know that we're not done right now. There's a lot more coming in terms of overall performance improvement, but we have made great strides putting some new tools inside of Salesforce to work and really starting to expedite some of those mobile interactions, especially when you're coming back online with a heavy workload that needs to sync to Salesforce. So real quick, some of the updates that we have here, platform cache. So what that means is platform cache is a newer capability from Salesforce, and it allows us to cache things that are used on a recurring basis by end users. So for us and for Youreka and for you guys, this means like templates, right? All these great complex templates that you're building, those can get cached and allow for a quicker interaction when Youreka starts up or the app's loading. Additionally, we've made some improvements to some of the queries and the syncing that's going on so that the Salesforce server is responding faster to the mobile app based on how we have things designed. So those are all great strides. There is an action that you need to take to turn on platform cache. So you can find the details of that in our knowledge base around the platform cache feature. Essentially, there's a button or a checkbox that you need to click inside of Youreka settings, and that will start caching templates and expediting the mobile experience for your end users. And our customer success team, again, you can ping them at success@youreka.io. They can help facilitate some of those things if you need a bit of a white glove approach to getting some of these new capabilities turned on. In addition, we've made some improvements to how Youreka is handling linked sections, right? So for those of you that are coming up on Youreka vernacular, think of those repeating sections or maybe those related lists that you're pulling into Youreka. You guys are out there doing some really complex stuff, right? Tracking products, work order line items, repairs and welds out in oil fields, and a lot of them, right? So we've been able to make some improvements to how fast Youreka is interacting when you have lots of those things inside of the mobile app, whether it's 10, 20, 100, you've been able to, you'll experience this performance improvement. And we didn't just make performance improvements to the existing scope of the application. You guys have asked for more. You wanted bigger, more resolute images in order to guide your technicians in the field. You wanted to build bigger templates. So we've increased some of our limits while making the app even more performant. And I'll go deeper on some of these features here in just a moment. All right. So I mentioned larger template images, right? So one of the great benefits to having larger template images in here. So when those admins are designing your templates and you want to provide guidance to your technicians or your frontline workers, you can incorporate these images. And with the higher limits, it allows you to put even more complex GIFs or animated images into your procedures. And if you're out there and you didn't know that you could incorporate GIFs into your procedures, if a picture says 1,000 words, I guess a GIF says 10,000, because you can walk your frontline workers through detailed procedures. And it's as easy as recording a video and saving it as a GIF and then uploading it into Youreka. So if that's not something that you've tried out yet, please give it a shot. We're seeing great response from frontline workers in terms of, hey, this has made things so much easier. In addition, we got a lot of our customers serving a global workforce, right? And their customers are around the globe. And that has their frontline workers working in many different languages, right? And today you've always been able to translate your templates from one language to the next. But historically, Youreka hasn't supported Salesforce's core translation capability called Translation Workbench. And with the Joule release, we now support Translation Workbench. So if you've got pick list values on accounts or work orders or custom objects, you can now use those translated values inside of your templates to support your international and multilingual implementation of Youreka. Okay, and Youreka would be absolutely nothing without all of the amazing admins, or as we refer to them, template builders out there, designing and implementing Youreka and keeping up with the changes to all of our customers' business process. So we put a lot of effort into the Joule release to create a more robust and capable experience for all of our template builders out there. So I mentioned earlier those concept of linked sections, or those repeating sections or related lists inside of your forms and procedures. Previously, you had the ability to make updates and read them, and then delete was just a global action across all of those linked sections. And there was a lot of requests for being able to configure which records or which conditions for different linked sections were going to allow end users to press delete. So now you have those capabilities. In addition to that, we've launched enhanced validation, which really at its highest level is just Youreka is now supporting regular expressions. So you can go out and validate that strings are matching a certain pattern. There's lots of great applications of regex. And in our knowledge base, we give you links to some great tools to find different ways or different styles of regular expressions to apply inside of your templates. I'll talk more about validation here in just a second. Template image search. So you guys are amazing. You're uploading hundreds and thousands of images to your templates. And previously there was just a view of here are all the images that have been uploaded. And you needed to be able to search metadata about those images to find a previously uploaded image that you want to use in the current template. So I'll show you guys in just a moment an example of what that looks like. That's now a new capability with the Joule release. In our prior release, Illuminate, we offered a capability called enhanced lookups, which previously, if you were looking up for a record or looking for a record, you had to search by name. And enhanced lookups lets you add in additional data points and search by other attributes other than just the record's name. And with Illuminate, we only supported that in mobile. But with Joule, we've brought that same great capability live to the web. And then lastly, we're allowing you guys, right? We support a lot of standard objects out of the box. There are hundreds of standard objects inside of Salesforce, and we continuously get requests to whitelist new ones. And in general, they usually just work, right? And what we're doing is we're allowing you guys to enable or whitelist your own set of Salesforce standard objects and run a trial with those, right? And then that allows you to give us feedback on, hey, I've enabled this new standard object, and here's the behavior that I'm seeing, right? So it's almost like you have the ability to turn on your own beta capability for standard objects that we've not yet whitelisted from a product point of view. So look forward to collaborating with you guys as you continue to explore that capability. All right. So I talked about template image search. What you'll see on the screen here is a really quick example of uploading an image and then adding attributes about that image, right? So here it's going to prompt the end user to give a label or a description, and these fields are completely configurable from your end. But the benefit to doing that is it's now stored as metadata about that image, so that the next time you want to use that ultrasound machine, the new ultrasound machine, you don't have to go scroll through that list. You can just use search, and you'll see that the search returns all the metadata about those images so that you can pick the right one. So great new capability for those implementations that have lots and lots of template images. Here's regular expressions or enhanced validations, right? So what you're seeing on the screen is we're trying to capture a device serial number. And the end user put in ABC123. And I know it's tiny on the screen, but that validation that came back to them said all of our serial numbers start with XYZ. So we can enforce different data capture patterns or validate those things. And the really cool part is there's no more waiting for Youreka to talk to the Salesforce server to get that validation criteria. Youreka is doing it locally on the mobile device. And you can even see in this example the device is offline. And this new enhanced validation pairs great with a new capability that we launched in our Illuminate release, which is that guided error resolution that takes end users step by step through any outstanding validations in the form so that they're not left to their own devices to go hunt and peck for any outstanding data that needs to be collected. Okay, I'm about halfway there, and I'm going to speed up a tiny bit, guys, so sorry. The next item that we've included is the ability to pin that mobile menu, right? I just talked about hunting and pecking, rolling through a form. You guys build complex, long, tons of sections, tons of pages, really complex procedures and forms. And the way life works, it's not always linear data capture, top to bottom. So now by being able to pin that mobile menu open as a preference for the end user, they don't have to keep going back to the hamburger menu to open that navigation menu to get to the right section. You can keep that menu, especially on tablets where you have more screen real estate, pinned open to allow you to move quickly through your process. Okay, up next here, we've got, I think maybe we've got, if we could bounce back one slide here, I think we jumped over one of them here, just kind of an overview to some of the mobile navigation and AI updates that we've made here. So let's go ahead and talk about some of those new mobile and AI capabilities. So for some of our longer term customers, you may have noticed that we've updated our branding over the course of the last year. And we were able to incorporate that branding in all of our marketing materials and our website. And fortunately, last on the list was the product update to incorporate all of these new branding capabilities. So that is now made its way, that new brand has now made its way into the mobile app. And you'll see, your end users have probably already seen a new app logo and the new color palette inside of the Youreka mobile app. So it's just something to be aware of. We talked about the ability to pin that new menu open. And until we reach a perfect state where there's one mobile app to rule all enterprise frontline procedures, deep linking will continue to be a necessity for Youreka to run alongside all of its peer mobile apps, where we have we're running alongside Salesforce Mobile, Field Service Mobile, or in the utilities ecosystem, or alongside Lemur Pro a good bit. So we need to continue to communicate with those other applications. And with Illuminate, we released great capability in terms of Youreka passing a bunch of data to other apps after we're done inside of Youreka. But with Joule, we released new capability in terms of being able to have deep links coming in to Youreka, right? And being able to have that robust capability of passing parameters. Okay, if we can jump really quick to our OCR slide, I'll talk about one of those new AI capabilities, right? So if you've not yet deployed any form of AI capability inside of your team's environment, I highly encourage you to go try OCR. Yes, OCR is categorized in the industry as an artificial intelligence, as it's a form of computer vision. So what we want to do, or what you would be able to do here, and what you'll see is that little eye icon next to device serial number and product code. There's a GIF that's supposed to be running on the screen right now, which is, I guess, maybe just a little jammed up. But what you'll see is the ability to take a picture, and once we have that image, select text directly out of that image. So we don't have to worry about someone entering the wrong device serial number or the wrong product code when they're collecting data about an asset in the field. And there's no training that needs to be done here. Turning on OCR is simply the flip of a switch inside of your Youreka templates saying, for these data points, I'd like our end users to be able to use OCR. So highly encourage you guys to go try that new capability. And the enhancement that we came out with in this last release is better handling of complex strings. Things like A lot of you are taking pictures of price points on shelves or complex serial numbers on device placards, and being able to tease out those special characters like dashes and decimals that may be strung throughout. So Youreka is handling that extremely well now. Please go check out OCR capabilities. So there's a lot more inside of the Joule release. I don't have enough time to take you through all of the details there, but I would like to quickly jump to what's next. Where are we headed, right? What's so exciting about how we're going to be able to use this investment moving forward, and what are we starting to accelerate on our product roadmap? So what we've got going on is a lot of tactical updates, right? We continue to see these needs from you guys and hear this feedback around, hey, we need more robust capability in terms of guiding data collection for our technicians in the field. So one of the new capabilities that we're going to be releasing is the geolocation question type, right? So think of this as the ability to just drop a question anywhere inside of your template, whether it's inside of a standard section or even in a link section, and it'll let the end user, it'll prompt the end user to drop a pin, to record their geolocation, the Latin long to 6 decimal points, or to 6 degrees of significant digits after the decimal point. So that's the new geolocation question type that we're working on. Really excited about that. And the second thing that we're working on is a really cool, really exciting capability, and it's scoring within forms, right? So a lot of you may use today Youreka's discovery capability, where you can capture structured values and translate those into weighted numerical values. But the thing about discoveries today is you have to wait until your form's complete, and you have to let that run on the Salesforce server side. But we're bringing all of this amazing capability with form scoring into the form itself, live and capable of running in an offline state. So when you capture all these different structured values and you want to run a weighted application of all of those values and produce a score in the middle of your form, you'll be able to do that even when you're offline. And the really cool part is you can use that score then to drive downstream logic for the rest of your procedure or throughout the rest of your form. And we're even going to have that capability produce discoveries live, so that you still have that server-side workflow that can unfold once we've captured this information. All right. I talked briefly about inbound deep link parameters. This is going to continue to get even more robust, where you can pre-populate answers within the form, right? So if you have another app like Field Service Mobile telling Youreka to create a form or to load an existing procedure, it can pre-populate answers by passing those data points in the deep link URL. So that's going to be a super powerful for all of those multi-mobile app implementations of Youreka. You're going to be able to drive pick lists based off of data inside of your Salesforce instance. That's going to be an incredibly robust capability. And we are continuing to press hard on bringing new AI capabilities to market, right? Bill started off with our tagline around putting knowledge to work. I jokingly made a comment about being as successful as machinely possible, right? This is an area that we're strategically focused, putting you guys in a position to have click configuration, AI capability across the process workflow for your frontline workers. Now, I said when we made those improvements around performance on the front end of my section, that we did a lot of work on the Salesforce server side to speed things up. We are extremely hard at work right now, making very promising improvements to the mobile application itself. I'll lean in a little bit with you guys here. Some of the procedures that we're testing right now are seeing a 5x improvement, which is just mind-blowing right now. Meaning if something was taking 5 seconds to run inside of the mobile app, meaning your end users sitting there waiting for a spinner for 5 seconds, shrunk down to a 1 second interaction. So we're super excited about what that's going to do for our end users, the experience that it's going to create, And I can't wait to bring that stuff to market over the remainder of this year and at the beginning of 2022. And then lastly, before I turn you guys over to Mike, we mentioned we're continuing to pull close to our strategic partners at Salesforce. We are hard at work trying to help support that vision of a single mobile app experience to facilitate the entire set of needs for your frontline workforce. And we're focused heavily on making that happen through a Salesforce Lightning Web component of Youreka, which could be embedded inside of existing Salesforce mobile apps, like the field service mobile application. So some great tactical stuff coming from our team, in addition to some really exciting performance and strategic improvements or enhancements around the Youreka platform. So we can't wait to bring that stuff to market for you guys. And I'll say thank you really quickly to all of you for joining us here today, trusting your frontline procedures with the Youreka team. And we absolutely wouldn't be here without you guys. So thank you again. And it's my pleasure to hand you guys off to our Chief Customer Officer, Mike Boosinger, who's here to talk about some of our newly expanded capabilities of our amazing customer success team. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Dan. I really appreciate it. Great job squeezing all that into 20 minutes. Hopefully in the future, we'll give you a little bit more time to yourself. Wanted to thank everybody here that's joining us today. Also, a big thanks to Dan for his run through, and really a thanks to the product engineering team in general for all the amazing work that they do to deliver such an amazing product. It makes the work on the customer success team so much easier because we have a great product to work with. We're excited to work tighter with you this year and next year and continue to evolve how we work together. As Dan mentioned, my name is Mike Boosinger. I'm the Chief Customer Officer at Youreka. The customer success team is relatively new. We've really been building it out over the past year or so. And we've got some great things to talk about today. But overall, I'd say right now I'm really excited about where we sit from the perspective of the people we have in place. There's a certain passion and a certain energy right now that we have on the team. Everybody wakes up every day thinking, how do we help our customers succeed? And they take a lot of pride when that happens. So know that we're backed up right now by a great set of folks, and we're going to continue to add to them as we see fit. Today, just to take a little bit of time to talk to you about where we sit from customer success perspective, and where do we want to go over the course of the next quarter and the next year. Three main goals that drive us so far this year. One is really to make sure that we can get you Youreka implemented in a seamless fashion from the onset. So the first time that you guys are ready to go live, we want to make sure that's quick and easy. You can avoid all the pitfalls that happen in implementations. And then as you roll out new forms and new phases, or if you move Youreka to a new division within your company, we're here as well to help make sure you know how to get the most value and can get to that value as quickly as possible. The second goal is to take advantage of all the great things that Youreka has to offer. There's tons of features, as you guys know, and sometimes knowing which one to use can be tough. We're here to help. We can provide that advice, we understand your use cases, and we can point you in the right direction. And again, that can happen during your initial onboarding, but it's also our responsibility to make sure that you know, as Dan releases new product features quarter after quarter, that you know what those are. And to the extent that we can, we'd love to help support you and suggest the features that make the most sense for you based on your use case. So please know that we're going to reach out and try to do that. And then the last piece here is really just to make sure that we are your advocate within the walls of Youreka. It's our job to kind of represent you and to let the folks at Youreka know what needs to happen in order to keep our customers happy. So we want to work tightly with you to understand where you're heading. We want to understand where you see gaps. We can take that to the product engineering team and help fight for you. Or maybe it's something that we look inside the customer success team and figure out, hey, if we just provided a little bit more training, we could get this customer to a good spot. So I'll mention this now, and I'll mention it several times throughout this presentation. We want to talk to you guys. We want to hear from you. It's really the best way for us to help get you where you need to go. How we're going to approach things this year and have so far is that we're going to invest in tools and resources that help to enable you and that you can leverage in a few different ways. And I'll touch on the different tools and resources in a sec here. But overall, our commitment to you is to continue to evolve quarter over quarter with new tools and new resources that will help to enhance you throughout your customer journey. And then, as I mentioned before, our ask is really just to let us know how and where we can help. That doesn't mean we're going to be sitting back and waiting for you to call us. We're going to be proactive, but the general theme is let's work together to provide you with the best experience possible. So now I'll go into some of the tools that we talked about. On the top row, you'll see 3 tools that we have in place today or will have in place very shortly. And the bottom 3 are more aspirational, but I'll walk you through the vision. So webinars, obviously, we're talking today. Super glad you guys joined us. In the future, we're going to actually split this webinar out. So today it's kind of a mashup of customer success and the product update. Moving forward, we'll split it apart so each group gets the proper amount of time, and Dan won't have to try to run through all those great features in 20 minutes. And we're going to do that for you quarterly. So next time we speak, you'll see, next time this happens, we'll be speaking in kind of 2 different formats, and we'll make sure you guys are aware of that far ahead of time so you can join us. The next 2, the customer portal and surveys, are things that we're going to have in place in October. I've got a little bit of info further along in the presentation, so I'll pause on those for now. The next 3 start with accelerators. So the concept here is to build out a library of things that our customers can leverage to get quickly through a use case that's not currently supported by Youreka. That could be something as simple as some lines of code that you might need to move a picture from the answers object over to the related object where you want that picture to sit, all the way to some complex managed packages that help enhance or get you quicker to using Conga or SDocs as a PDF generation option. So more to come there. The next one I'm super excited about is our customer advisory board. The concept here is we can invite some of our customers to have a roundtable discussion and find out where are they looking to go, and maybe even look to go to the same places together between us, all of our customers, and the product. So very excited about that. Hope to have some updates in Q4 there. And the last piece, also excited about this concept, is trying to get all of our great customers together to talk. Obviously, we've got lots of great experience implementing Youreka, but I've seen a lot of things our customers have done, and they're really cool. And so what I'd love to do is set up a space where our customers can get together and talk and chat and build out amazing solutions together. All right, I also mentioned some resources, so I'll run through 3 that we have in place today. So customer success managers are your main point of contact. All of our customers at this point should have a customer success manager. If you don't have one today, please feel free to put a comment in the chat section or email us at success@youreka.io. We'll make sure that the right person is put in touch with you. You'll get that support. Think about the customer success manager as the person to run to with questions. If you have a ticket that hasn't been resolved, if you have questions about licensing or renewals, or just need some support, know that that person is here, and you should be hearing from that person throughout the year to make sure that you guys are doing well and happy with the product. Second is onboarding and enablement. As we grow as a group, we certainly would like to make sure that we have people here on staff that can help enable our customers through the initial go live or after. So we've formed a team that we've affectionately called Youreka Black Belts, and I'll talk a bit more about them later. But the overall concept is these people know Salesforce, they know Youreka really, really well, and they're there to help support you. And we have a couple of different models in which that can happen, but the team's here and we're ready to help. And the last piece is Premier Success, which is a newer offering. This replaces what we used to do with Premier Support, which was more geared towards SLAs. Premier Success takes that to another level. So we include SLAs, we include cool things like access to our Youreka architecture or access to online training and many other things which we'll share with you guys in Q4. So hopefully between the tools and resources we have in place now, we've made a meaningful change. And let's go into some more detail. So from the customer success portal perspective, we're going to launch this in October. And the overall vision here is to have a single place for you to go for all things Youreka. So that could be to talk to your customer success manager. It could be to log a ticket. It could be to see what your license renewal is coming up. But we're going to start simple, right? We want to take some baby steps here. The whole crawl, walk, run approach that Salesforce loves, and we love too. We're going to get away from email. We're going to launch this portal to allow folks to submit tickets through the portal, which is great because we can start to get some extra detail. Right now, emails are such a blank canvas. There's a lot of emails that go back and forth. Our hope is by providing some structure, we can get good information from you up front and respond faster. We're also going to use Youreka, the concept of eating our own dog food here. So we're going to use Youreka to capture that information, and we'll use the smart logic within Youreka to help surface knowledge articles that might help you get past your issue without any need to wait for the customer support. So excited for you guys to get in there. Hopefully you don't have a whole lot of tickets to log, but when you do, we'll be ready for you, and take a look at how we're using Youreka to hopefully get some ideas. The last thing here is just to make sure you have a spot where you can go back and check and see where are we with our ticket. In the past with emails, that wasn't possible, so now you will be able to. All right, so the customer survey concept, again, talking about how much we'd love to hear from you about how things are going. Super important. We won't know how we're doing until we get some feedback. And so what we've decided to do is launch this survey, which comes in the form initially as an NPS question. It's a simple 1-question email that you'll get. You can respond in line with the email, simple 0 through 10 kind of rating. Once you're done with that, that'll come back and we'll be very happy that you responded. But if you're kind enough or willing to, you'll actually get a second email at that time. It'll take you to the portal and to a Youreka form where you can provide additional feedback. Please take the time to look through that form, fill out what you think makes sense for you and your company. We'd love the feedback. We think it can only help us support you better. That will launch also in early October. All right, folks, 2 more slides. I know we're getting towards the tail end of this. Everybody has been so patient. So the black belt team I mentioned a bit earlier, these are our Youreka experts. These are folks that have a consulting background. These are people that are Salesforce certified, so they understand the platform. They understand how Youreka works within that platform. We have 2 forms. We have Youreka architects and Youreka form designers. The architects, think about them as your kind of end-to-end solution engineer, solution architects. Look, they can help you with understanding how and when to create forms. They can help you with plugging Youreka into the data model. And they can also help you with things at the tail end, like how do you get data out of Youreka and into a third-party BI tool. The forms designers are the folks that work right in the form template builder. These are a team of people that know all the features so well, and they know how to avoid missteps, and they know the best practices when building out forms as well. So a great team, really knowledgeable about Youreka, and these become assets to you potentially if it makes sense to work together. There's several ways that we've worked with clients so far and looking to expand that as we move forward. We can work kind of in an advisory capacity, just providing advice. We can be an extra set of hands if you're running behind, or if you just need to get something done, we can help get you there. And then obviously if you have complex use cases, we've seen a lot and are excited to see more. So please think about us as a tool if you found yourself being stuck and need to figure out a way to get past that. All right, guys, last slide, and I'm excited about this. We've kind of talked about an offer once or twice so far. The concept here is we are introducing a Youreka digital transformation assessment. We know that you guys are busy. That's just kind of the way the world is today, it seems. And you might have some ideas, some areas where you think maybe we could use Youreka, but I don't have the time, I don't have the resources. So what we'd like to do is leverage those black belts I just talked about to come in and work with you and figure out, can we make Youreka work here? And if so, how would we do it, and what kind of effort would it take? So the transformational assessment is composed of 3 parts. The first is a half-day exploration session. The concept here is that we come in for about 4 hours. We look at your use case, we talk about requirements, we get enough information to understand in general what you're trying to do. And then we'll come back for a week or 2 and we'll build out a proof of concept in one of our environments that shows basically how you would use Youreka to solve your problem. We can come back in front of you and show you how it worked, get feedback and answer questions, make sure we're all on the same page, but just in general, understand what's possible. Then, the last piece is a feasibility analysis. So we want to make sure, based on what we've seen, does Youreka actually work for what you're trying to do? So we'll let you know. And if it does, we'll also provide you with a level of effort estimate to get that work done. So that if you're trying to find budget, or if you're working with a partner that has to go do this work, you'll know how much dollars to go, or how many resources to go get internally to help build this. And of course, if you prefer for the black belts to build, that's an option we can talk about as well. The cost for this service is $10,000, but seeing as it's a new offering and we're kind of launching our first webinar for customer success, we're offering this service for free for the first 10 customers that sign up. You can sign up in a couple ways. You can pop your name into the comment section saying you're interested. You can contact your CSM, or you can email success@youreka.io, all by October 15th, which is when we're going to kind of draw the cutoff line. Super excited to work with you guys. Hope you guys take this under consideration, and we look forward to hearing from you. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Heidi, who will wrap up our webinar. Thank you very much for being with us. Take it away, Heidi.
All right, great. Thanks, Mike. Awesome. All right, thanks everybody for joining us today. There has been so much exciting news to share, and we're so thrilled to be able to do so live in a webinar with you. And please, if you're interested in the offer that Mike just mentioned, don't miss out. Contact your customer success manager or email success@youreka.io and let them know you're interested. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out. Once again, thanks a lot. I hope you enjoyed it. See you soon.